Is your anxiety through the roof knowing that you have to see your family for Thanksgiving this week? That's not you. That is so normal for us C-PTSD survivors. Going back to the place of harm, which is often our family, super triggering. Hi, my name's Morgan. I'm an intuitive holistic psychologist and coach, and I help intersectional sensitive people and empaths access real wellness and live an intention-filled, empowered life. Every month, I answer a question from my email subscribers about decolonized holistic mental health and therapy. Subscribe to my newsletter to see my full responses or to submit a question of your own. So with that said, it's time to cleanse the space. I need to get some more incense and let's get into it. Okay, so with the incense still going, let me read you this month's question. I'm a C-PTSD survivor and have plans to see my family over Thanksgiving. My anxiety is already through the roof. What should I do? Okay, so let's take this piece by piece and break this down so I can give you the best advice to help you and help you navigate the holidays at large. So the first aspect is, let's talk about anxiety a little bit. Anxiety has a bad rap because yes, it does terrorize us at points, but it's a good thing. It's the body's alarm system. Another thing to think about is, how does anxiety really naturally exist? And so what we want to know is that alarm system that we're feeling in our body, if we ignore it, which society tells us to just tamper it down or make it go away as soon as possible, then oftentimes we're not looking at the long-term solution. Those long-term solutions actually we're welcoming the anxiety, and as we're navigating the symptoms, then life eventually gets better. So the first thing that I would want to say is we want to acknowledge that the anxiety isn't all bad, that the anxiety is a messenger. Yes, we do need to regulate. Yes, we do need to heal. And yes, we are feeling like lit on fire and we are in a lot of pain. We're suffering. We do want to realize that. But we also want to know that that is a very natural response to harm. That is a very natural response to something not being okay or something being not in the right calibration. So the first thing is we want to normalize anxiety. We want to know in its healthy state, it's here to tell us something. And if this case and you know that you're going back to your family a place of harm, that message is in step with what your experiences are. That leads us to the next phase of understanding what your situation is a little bit more. Step 2 would be context. So for some of us, we're in different stages of our healing, we're in different stages of awareness, and I'm not sure where you are in terms of understanding what the patterns are for your family, or even where you're at with understanding what C-PTSD is. And again, that's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's what happens when people who have experienced repeated trauma, so child abuse, again, marginalization, any sort of repeated encounters, oppression, that's what happens to us and our nervous systems and how we respond. We want to understand what the body's trauma response is in terms of fight, flight, fawn, and freeze. We want to know what all those things are and what they look like. Educating yourself a little bit about C-PTSD and what you're hearing me talk about, as well as understanding what is the narrative for my family is especially important. Understanding context is going to give you extra leeway and awareness to be able to navigate your situation. Again, we always want to have a larger reason, have a deeper truth that will anchor us in the moment. And that place of reality is how we can navigate what we're about to experience. So number 1 is understanding anxiety and really how it functions. And that even though it can be very painful and it's a lot of suffering and that is real, but really it's here to tell us something. Is something that we're experiencing, is it something not okay? And in this situation, with the context of this question, that would be right. And number 2 is we want to have a more contextualized understanding of our situation pertaining to 1, what our family's patterns are, and then 2, what our response is if we're C-PTSD survivors, and this person says they are, understanding what our trauma responses are so we can have a better understanding to know how to navigate our situation. So number 3 would be understanding even a broader context outside of our family. And the reason I say that is because this is geared towards intersectional sensitive people and empaths. And we're people that see, feel, perceive energy Sometimes we're taking in other people's energy and we're not knowing. So we want to understand that broader historical context about what influenced our family and what influenced the trauma. I'm assuming this person's in America because we're talking about Thanksgiving. When we think about that, we want to think about where did this tradition and where did this holiday come from? And if we're thinking about that, we're thinking about what happened to the indigenous people of the land, how they were removed, how really Thanksgiving is a day of mourning. So no, for a lot of us, the holidays are very triggering. They're very, very painful. And actually, we're being reminded of our oppressor and we're being told to gloss it over, forget that it happened, and serve someone else's reality. We want to know that this is happening on a collective level in addition to happening in your own home or with your immediate family. In addition, those of us in the Black community, we also are faced with the fact that the first Thanksgiving was made as a distraction to kind of glossing over slavery. So for those of us who we feel oppressed, marginalized, looked over in every sense every day, Thanksgiving can be particularly harmful. We want to incorporate these significant components in context of collective healing and put that in context with what is our family doing and how did our family cope with this. We want to figure out how was our family influenced by these societal norms and expectations that are steeped and memorialized in this day called Thanksgiving. I like to call it Truthsgiving, or this day of mourning that oftentimes America at large doesn't acknowledge. So that would be number 3. The fourth thing that you would want to do is have all this information at hand and you normalize what's happened to our bodies, our minds, what's happened to our nervous system. It is pretty normal for our nervous system to be out of whack and misfiring. So what can we do to get into safety? We want to think about what rituals honor us, what boundaries feel good. So again, our nervous system regulation and knowing that it's been dysregulated by these things and moving it towards safety, we want to use that as a gauge to know what boundaries should I be having? What rituals should I be engaging in? How long can I be here? With who can I be celebrating with? Or let's not even use the word celebrate if that doesn't feel appropriate. With who should I be spending this time with? If Thanksgiving was a place where maybe some people were great and supportive and some people weren't, again, that's going to vary by person, but it's very, very normal to be having these feelings and thoughts and returning to the place of harm in one way, shape, or form or another. On this holiday, it's not you. It's not that your body does know the truth. That's right. We want to listen to our body. We want to listen to our spirit. We want to listen to our stories and our mind and moving towards safety. The holidays just isn't one day, it's a season. If you need help navigating the holidays, I have specialized services for intersectional sensitive people and empaths, such as integrative holistic therapy with concierge service, as well as intuitive healing sessions if you're just having a hard time getting in contact with your inner divinity to know how you should move forward. I love to take care of people and then also do what's right for them. So you can sign up for a free consult if that sounds right to you, or you can go ahead and you can book an intuitive healing session. So here's to your health and here's to the truth and us not being gaslit this holiday season. Let's listen to our bodies, let's listen to our minds in this time where oftentimes people are trying to silence our stories. I hear you, and your story and mine does matter, so we all can heal together. So here's to you.